Hey yo, what's up guys? I want to make a video on why I trust the wisdom of spiritual women and spiritually awakened women or just like highly intuitive women. Um I like to surround myself around women who are very intuitive. Um and I like to surround myself with guys who are like me. I don't really like to surround myself with like princesses and like princesses and stuff like that. And what I mean by that, like those who are often in my eyes of you as like a prince or a princess, it's not about like where you came from or whatever. It's more about your soul. Those who have like a very enlightened spiritual soul and are just very pure hearted and pure soul. Those are what I view as that. But I really like to surround myself with women who are very intuitive because they're very wise and they can help you a lot. You know, it's like a normal thing. This has been going down for like generations. It's like a normal thing to criticize the in, the intuition of women and to just like shit on them or whatever. Like you know like um what was it? What was the movie? It was like wasn't it like Scarlet's Letter? Stuff like that. Didn't they like torture like witches, like young women that they thought were like witches or something like that? Like ancient times, like they used to like um torture women that they thought were witches because people were too they were too incompetent to understand their intuition and their power and stuff like that. So they're just intimidated by it, and their consciousness couldn't, and their ego couldn't, fathom, the depth of it, So they would just do the easy thing and just torture them or whatever. But they don't realize, like, like witches and stuff like that are neutral. Everything is neutral, nothing is really like good or bad. It depends on the character. And usually, like, witches are only like bad or whatever, like go on more the negative side because um it's kind of like with like like delinquents, like a delinquent, they have a pure heart, they can have a pure heart, a lot of them have pure hearts, but they may go more on the negative side because people are painting them to be like this like negative being or this like monstrosity towards society and whatnot. When in reality they're not really like their heart is pure, but people are paying them to be this, so they end up just hearing that all the time. They're just like fuck it, whatever, and people are treating them poorly. And they go down like the revenge and the negative route, and they become what they hate. That happens with like witches and stuff too back in the day, and even these days as well. But you know, like I said, like witches and stuff like that, they're not a witch. It's so interesting. The mainstream world, just like how they just like warp everything, and they just like everything's just like fear. Everything's just fear and assumptions and stuff like that. With just everything, literally everything. But witches and stuff like that are neutral, and a lot of them can be really great to your life. And that's just one aspect of it. But pretty much what I'm just trying to talk about is just like doing the intuition of women. And just throughout time, just things I've seen, a lot of like men and programmed women are like they just like are so against them and they just like fight them or whatever. Like these things are going on right now, and with like spirituality, astrology, um all these different kinds of things. As people are starting to take the time to understand themselves and grow and master themselves and realize their power within them. And a lot of the guys, they're just more so into the rat race and everything like that. They don't take the time to understand themselves. And a lot of men are still in the mindset of where they feel like they're more superior than women, and women shouldn't have an opinion, and all these different kinds of things, which is really stupid. If anything, I don't think you men should have an opinion. You guys are just, I don't know what the fuck you guys even be talking about. I used to get so upset when I used to be compared to men, because I'm like, bro, these guys, I don't really understand these guys. Like, I like everyone, but like, I was always annoyed being compared to like men and like my father and all these different kinds of people who are just like, I can't even describe it because I don't understand it because that's not how I am. I'm very spiritual, so I don't really get the primitive stuff. I'm learning. But anyway, yeah, like I'll just see like people be like, oh, like with like star signs and stuff like that, they'll just like get on the women and everything like that. And they're sheep, so they'll just like come together and just like kind of bully them and just make them second guess like their intuition and all these different kinds of things. It's very interesting. It's so interesting how there's so much on this planet to help us, become better in the world and become better with ourselves and all these different things. We have all these different resources, but it's just so interesting just watching humans just constantly just destroy it or attempt to destroy it. It's so interesting to me because it just keeps happening. I just keep watching it. It's just so interesting, very interesting. Every good thing they just try to destroy. I don't understand it. Um, but yeah, like I think it's really sad. Like I keep seeing shit like this. Like even like for me, like when some people they get on me, like because like I believe like in astrology and all these different kinds of things, and I adhere to it. And there's some people who will just be like oh this that or whatever. And but I just don't really go for it because it's my belief and that's what I believe in. You believe in a lot of bullshit that I think is fucking stupid, but you don't see me getting on you for it. So I don't understand why you have to control other people's beliefs and opinions. Why can't everyone just have their own beliefs and their own opinions? I don't believe it. I don't understand it. It's not hurting anyone. So why can't she believe in what she believes in? Guys like that are fucking, I don't know, they're disgusting to me. I don't know. Ugh. I don't want to breathe the same air as them. I don't want to be exposed to their energy. It's fucking disgusting. I really don't care what you think about me, cause I don't really think highly of you, cause you just oppress people, and you just bully people, and you just treat people wrongly, and you can't even let them just be themselves. The people that you're supposed to love, you keep on hurting them, and this, they're trying to help you. Like I used to like for me like I've always been open to like since I was a child just like supernatural things and all these different kinds of things. I always thought it was so fascinating. Um and I remember one time I was at school. um it was still 2019. I met a girl and then like she told me she's a witch. Like she told me she's a witch and everything like this, and then like she does like tarot and all these different kinds of things. And I used to just be like, I was like, oh, this is interesting, and then like we would just like chop it up, and she was just super genuine, and and just very, like, just super genuine, super intuitive, and just very kind, and we just have very like nice conversations, and she was just a very very nice person. I always have my mind open to things. Like I feel like if I'm in this human body, right? And I just see what humans do to the world, right? So I'm not a hypocrite. Even though I don't participate in that stuff, I'm still a human. And humans are destructive beings, right? So who am I to like judge people because I may not understand them, or they may have a completely different like, like thing going on in me, I'm not just gonna judge them. If I don't see that they're doing anything destructive, if they're not doing anything destructive, then who am I as a human to get on anyone for anything? You know what I mean? If they're not doing anything destructive, Like I think it's very um unproductive. I think it's very dangerous to do that because people are trying to help us, reach these these new horizons, but we keep on putting each other down and stay in this fucking limbo. Like, let people imagine, let people, you know, believe in in magic and all these different kinds of things. Like, it's important because we live in a fucking, like, some people are like, oh, this isn't a fantasy world, but dude, this really is a fantasy world. It actually is. We live on the goddess's body, man. We're in the fucking middle of the universe. Like, it's just facts. That's why I'm just always open to all those kind of things. But you know, I never really been around intuitive women, because I've always been around women of fear. But like when I started going online, just looking at, on YouTube and looking at women who are more intuitive, and coming across women who are intuitive, and I just really trust the guidance and the wisdom of women who know themselves. Like, I trust them more than anything. Like I feel lost without, the guidance of like an intuitive woman. Like, it's very important to me, it's just very important because it's like what my grandma told me. Like, my grandma said, like, women are always like 5 steps ahead, and I believe that. Like, I believe women are like way farther ahead. Like, as far as like intuition and stuff like that. Spirituality. That's what, like, for me, when it comes to like spiritual stuff. Like, I don't really like tarot readings or anything like that from like guys. I don't know, I always just feel off put by it. Like, because like women are just like far more passionate about it, and sometimes I feel like, oh, if a guy does it, oh, he may be trying to like, just kind of like get money out of me or something like that. Not all guys are like that. There's a lot of guys who are like really good, but for me, I just always feel more comfortable with like a woman, because like you can see how passionate they are, and just like women just really like to help, just keep people on the right track and stuff like that. But yeah, like I think it's really important to listen to people. If you really care about someone, listen to them. Let them, you know, listen to them. That's what I like to do. I think it's really super unhealthy to just like, I don't know, think you're just like super superior to women, and you just like keep bashing their souls and everything like that. It's gonna get to the point where they're just not gonna realize that you don't belong in their life, and they're just gonna look down on you, and then they're just gonna, avoid you and all these different kinds of things. You know, I think it's really important to keep your mind open. You know, Humans are so closed minded. Like, it's really annoying that, there's people out here who are open minded, and want to grow and all these different kind of things. But there's people around who just want to keep everything stagnant because they're afraid or whatever. Like, it's just annoying, It really is annoying. But yeah, man, like, there's so many people who just don't believe in like a lot of shit that's just so obvious. And it's just very unfortunate, because I think it's really important to know yourself, and to embrace your soul. Because like, if you're not embracing your soul, or if you constantly reject your soul, it's like you're like rejecting the planet, right? That's how I feel. Um And, we don't really need that here. We don't need people that are going to constantly bash each other. And, everything that you hear that's like, that you're not used to, it's not negative, you try to destroy it, or you try to like, you know, negate it or whatever. I don't think that's right. We should be more open minded. Well, not we. You guys should be more open minded. Like, people out there should be more open minded, and really honor the women in your life. Um, it's very really honor them and appreciate them. Like, you know, you should protect them and look after them, and really be there for you. I mean, be there for them. Because women are really precious. Same with men, but it's really important to have women that honor you. I don't really have women that honor me like that. I have my mom who cares and everything like that, but like, but just like truly like honor you, like really like are there. Like I never really had like that to the point where like, they just look after my entire well-being, my emotional state and my spiritual state and my growth and all these different kinds of things. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's really important to be just more open-minded. But yeah. And everything, just because you're not used to something or whatever doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or dangerous or this or whatever. Like you gotta get out of that fear mindset, man. Fear is not healthy. It's not healthy to always be in fear or always judge everything you come across. Like you need to be more open minded and have more faith. Um, you know, it's important. Yeah.